Hello, my name is Cynthia. Welcome to my Flosstube channel. If you love beautiful needlework, you like to talk about it, see examples of it, and most importantly, be inspired to create your own beautiful pieces, then you're in the right place. November was a busy month for us as usual. Most months go by quickly, but I did have a nice visit with friends at the Silver Needle Retreat in Tulsa. I'll share a little bit of footage with Teresa and also talk about friends I met there and some of the projects that we worked on and some of the pieces that we created while we were there. But before that, I wanted to show some finishes. They're not FFO'd, but I plan to do this video a little differently than I usually do. I may even be in different clothing at the end, but hopefully I can get it all done today. I just find my time slipping away, and I wanted to show my haul and some of the pieces I did before I try to completely finish these projects, because they're taking longer than I hoped. So the first one I wanted to show was by Barbara Anna, and I made some decisions on it. This is the Christmas Elf Helper, I think it's called. It's a free pattern by Barbara Anna online, and it turned out super cute. Lots of bright colors, not my usual palette, but it goes with my Lori Mitchell elves that I will show you later very well. It's going to go on a white ceiling tin with a big red bow, so I think it'll be pretty. And it's not very big. I definitely kept the words off. I told you I probably would reword, but the way that Priscilla does her charts with, you know, the big picture here and then the wording on the top, I think I will do that next year. So I kept enough of this green fabric to do a little word banner, and it'll probably be at the top or bottom, and it'll say everybody needs a little help, Merry Christmas. So I did the majority of the chart, and I love the hat. I changed the dots from yellow to white and the tights from yellow to white. So other than that, it was all the called for DMC. I'm pretty sure a lot of the called for. I may have changed the red. The red is Red Licorice by Weeks. I had some from a stash unload pile that I bought, so I just used that. It's not really that variegated, but it's a good red. So there she is, and like I said, later today I will put her on the ceiling tin with a bow. It won't take me very long. I also have some candy cane fabric that I got from Walmart. And sorry, my cats have just seen a bird, so they're shaking the table. But I will show you that in a little while. So there's finish number one. Finish number two, I may have my kids help me with later to show the final reveal, because this is a big finish. It's been something I've been working on since 2018. I put it down for a lot of the time. It's a, I don't think it's a Stitch 9 challenge. I don't know why. I picked weird Stitch 9 challenges, or Finish 9. But it's a Mania finish, so I do feel proud about that. But here is Lizzie Kate Christmas Rules, and she was lots of fun to stitch, not hard. I did make some mistakes here and there, and I had some learning experiences, as every piece is. For instance, iron before you put on buttons. I singed that button just a little bit on top of the wreath, but I actually like it because I had some color changes in this, and I think I'll list them below if you're interested. It's a lot darker than Lizzie Kate's colors. Hers were much more vibrant and bright, and I darkened up the greens, I darkened up the reds. I used the called for yellow, but I darkened up the pink. So all of the colors are a little bit different, and the little bit of what's the word? Problems with that is the buttons don't quite match. So when I put that red button, it didn't match that lettering, but the singe of the iron made it kind of fade out. So happy accident. I also added this extra block here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see baby Jesus very well. I just kind of free stitched a manger with a baby. I tried to round out his little face and head a little bit, and then the straw is kind of long stitched. Why do I keep stitching straw? I don't know. This is the third time I've stitched straw. And that Star of Bethlehem, I ended up using a mother of pearl button on it because every other block has a button. And I thought it would be weird to not have one at the bottom. Here's 3 here. And then this one I changed. It was supposed to be a red button. But like I said, with the darker red and the burgundy lettering, I didn't like it. So I changed it to a brown button with the red floss, and then I used the mother of pearl here. So those are 2 bigger buttons that I added myself. And like I said, I'll be putting this on some French general fabric and putting it on some aged wood that my mom gave me from something she wasn't using as a wall hanging. And right now you can see it's pinned all along the sides. I could have taken those out, but I haven't yet. I just wanted to show you kind of how I pin and lace. So it's got just a million pins. It probably doesn't need that many, but that's how I do it. And then I have started lacing here on the back. I haven't done the corners yet. Like I said, time was getting away from me, and I'm supposed to pick up Walmart grocery pickup in about an hour, so I thought I better just go ahead and film what I can, and then I'll show you later this afternoon when it's done. So very excited for that. That turned out really well. And I'll probably be selling this chart on Instagram. I'll try to put in the notes below a time if you want to head over there. Unless someone has, my other hope was to find the Halloween rules by Lizzie Kate. So if someone has all the charts of the Halloween rules and they wanted to do Christmas, I would be very interested in a trade. Otherwise, I'll be selling it at a discounted price. This was a birthday present, so it's a very expensive chart. But I wanted to just swap to do Halloween rules because that's next on my list. So that I will show you again later. And let me talk about silver needle. And I've forgotten one of the things I needed to show you, but that's okay. We were able to spend Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday at the Silver Needle in Tulsa, back in the she shed that Lindy created from a back room when she connected to another room in the strip mall. And it was very cozy. There were about 40 of us, so it wasn't super loud and crowded. It was much more of a quiet class. I haven't been to a retreat before or a class, so I don't know if this is considered more of a retreat. It felt more like a class. We basically went over a lot of stuff about samplers and about how to buy one online, what to look for as to age and value, and just some tips. I had thought I will never own an antique sampler, but I kind of came away thinking, actually, I think I could do it. So someday I might be looking on eBay and be able to purchase that, but there's a lot of other things right now I'm having to save and budget for. So anyway, that was very interesting though, and she had a lot of examples to show us, and of course we got to see her beautiful samplers that she had brought, and also Lindy had bought about, gosh, 40 samplers from a client that lived outside of Tulsa that had passed away, and Lindy bought the entire collection. So we were able to go through boxes. I think there were 2 different boxes, and very carefully remove all the antiques, and Lindy even sold a few right then and there. So that was really fun. And Teresa had ordered from England a sampler to be sent to Tulsa, and she opened it in front of us. It was really fun, and I actually have some video footage of that, so I will insert that here.
They put masking tape on the glass so that if it does crack, it holds the glass up.
Look at that frame.
This is the legit.
Wow.
That's cool. To get this is the original frame most likely, and it's in good shape. No, it usually is good.
Come out the whole thing.
It really is like unwrapping a mummy.
Yeah, this is really like a mummy.
Oh, you did good.
So this was $2.95.
Right.
It was a buy it now.
$3.
Yep, it was a bargain.
Look at all the images.
I'd have given them free.
it was very exciting, and we all gasped, and of course we're so thrilled to be able to see it and pass it around. And Teresa was just a lot of fun. She's exactly like she seems on her videos, very down to earth, very funny and nice. And I also got to meet Judy from Tulsa, who was a very generous and kind friend. I'm so glad to know. And Marlene from Stitching by the Lake. Teresa thought my channel was called Stitching in the Lake because she misheard. So I guess Marlene and I are a combo channel, Stitching in the Lake. I'm stitching in the light, she's stitching by the lake. And Marlene was gracious and kind, as you would expect. So I really kind of stuck like glue to her. I hope I wasn't too bothersome, but we sat beside one another and we had all our meals together. So I really appreciated the time with her and the encouragement that her presence was. So lots of fun. And I have quite a bit of haul to share based on that experience. I saved my pennies from my craft fair and was hoping to purchase a few charts, and I did. I was able to get my Blackbird design piece that I liked so much, Summer Beaming Forth. This is out of stock a lot on 123 or Etsy, so I have plans for this. I can't really go into it yet, but it's going to be more of that kind of free stitching, making it into my own. So I have an antique frame I'm going to be working with. I also picked up a animal cracker by Stacy Nash, and there's a little bit of glare there, sorry. This is the bird Jenny. I have a bird's nest in my front entryway that my family found in our umbrella in the backyard, and it was abandoned. We waited and waited for Mom to come back, and she never did. So there's little blue eggs in it, and it's just a little brown nest that I keep in a bird cage. So I thought she would be a pretty accompaniment to that. I'm going to kind of do some different animal crackers. It reminds me of some of the soft muslin little crafts I've been making in the last year. So I'm kind of into, not dolls, but kind of, you know, folk arty kind of thing. So I got the thread for her dress too, which is more gray than I expected, but it may pull more blue, or I might switch it out. But that's the called for gray dress. So that will be started very soon, probably next year. I'll talk more about that later. Sorry, I just bumped the camera. And then I also picked up this piece by Brenda Gervais. That one may have to come out, it's really glary. The Potting Shed. I don't know why I like to stitch gardening pieces so well. My mom is a fantastic gardener. She has a very lush and beautiful yard, and I have a desert wasteland in the back. We have a fence that's kind of eroding away the land, and we need to do a retaining wall, but that's quite expensive. So my backyard is just a disaster, but the front yard I have hopes for. And I love all the bees, and my last name before, you've seen it if you've seen me on Facebook, but my maiden name is Herbal, not Herbal, Herbal. And so my roommate in college called me Herbs, which is not my favorite name, my favorite nickname, but when I saw that, it just reminded me of it. I like herbally things. Not just because it's my name, but it does kind of fit. And Herbal Brewer is like something off of Leno. You know, those jokes they used to make about people getting married. I did not like having a double name. I wasn't going to do that. So that was my haul. I just picked up those 3 pieces from Lindy at Silver Needle. And then, to top all that off, I had some beautiful gifts from Judy, from my friend. She brought just a bunch of things to share on the giveaway table, and so I was very happy to get those. I've been wanting to do this series, the White Christmas by Hands On Design. I think it's called White Christmas. Yeah, White Christmas. So there were like 5 or 6 of those. I snatched those up because I plan to do those next year. These are the colors of my front room, so I'm not going to change them to red like Priscilla did. I'm going to keep them those colors because I love mint. That's one of my favorite colors. So that was really cool. She also gave me this Lizzie Kate that she had stitched for her daughter. I thought about stitching that for my son, but I might do that for my second daughter. I've already stitched something for my son. But just promise me you'll always remember you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. That's a perfect message for a mother to a child. Even an adult child, as Judy had pointed out. That was for her adult child. She also shared her big toe design. I believe she stitched this for her pastor. And it does look pretty masculine with the colors. It's by Big Toe, and it's called Quaker Endurance. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God endures forever. So seeing as my pastor is my husband, I might stitch that for his office too. Not anytime soon, but definitely a beautiful piece. I already have a Quaker on the go, so I'll probably do it next, but I love that. That was such a generous and thoughtful thing for her to share. And I'm doing this a little bit out of order, but I wanted to share the pieces that we got at the retreat. I showed in my last video the large sampler that Teresa had reproduced for this class. It was an exclusive to the Silver Needle, and it's called Hannah Hodges. But I didn't actually end up picking it up. I kind of had to rein some things in because I realized I have too many samplers. I have too much on the go. I'll be talking about more about that later in the month. So I just decided this was enough for me to be able to stitch this upper piece here. It's just a small kind of pin keep, but it's going to go in a box. It was actually finished in the bottom of this box, which I have over there. I'll show you later when I come back this afternoon. I made that box, and it's super cute. Super pretty. That's a better word. But I didn't want to put the house in the bottom of that to display it. I'd rather have it out. And so I'm probably going to make this as a pin cushion. And this is just what I worked on in class. I made a few changes. I didn't put the year down here in big letters. I'm going to do it in small letters. But I was too busy talking. I kept having to frog. I did this grass wrong. So I was like, I just need to stop. I need to visit instead of stitch. But I got a good start on it. I think that's some kind of hay bale. It looks like a cupcake is what I thought. But we were all working on this. We got a good start on it. And we also worked on the other pieces here. There was a little bit of banding in here. Oh, where is that? That she made into a pencil case. It actually has bees on it. I don't see it in the picture, but I'll show you that later too. And then this pin keep here, I'm really excited to start. I might change the colors a little bit, but it is a rice stitch practice where you just do rice stitches over and over in a checkerboard. And we got that pattern from, oh, there's the bees. You can see them kind of in that corner. It's in a good picture. But it's the, I guess the sampler had on it the book, the needle, and the pen. So we made a book box, a needle case, or a needle pin cushion, and we did a pen case, or a pencil, because pen would leak, but it has little bees on it. So I made 2 of those bees. I haven't finished it, and I haven't even started the pin keep. But we also got the Lady Dot Creates chenille and some French General fabric. So very nice kit. Teresa put that all together herself, and she was very creative, as usual. So I had a fantastic time. I didn't take a ton of pictures. I was a little bit shy to try to do the Mad Lib. I thought it's not really the right setting. I thought I'd wait and see, and I just didn't feel like there was a good time to do that. So I just got to visit with Teresa a little bit and talk to her as we made the box in the back, and I did enjoy that very much. And it was a worthwhile experience. I'll do it again. Let me segue into whips and what I've been working on. And then I'll come back later this afternoon and finish up. I started Winter ABCs after I had the, by Little House Needleworks, after I had the large stand covered with the autumn piece. I really am anxious to get the next one up there. I really like how that turned out. So I just started on some, I'm doing all of these on 16 count Aida, or the equivalent of 32 count linen. And I made this kind of grungy aqua fabric. And this is the start, my needle's kind of crazy here. This is the start of the, I think they're like paper whites, you know, the narcissus, are they narcissus? I think that's right, that you force, the bulbs you force, because I don't think they are poinsettias. I don't think they're white poinsettias. They're tall and skinny. And I have done that before. I've forced those bulbs inside in December. You can get the kits at Walmart, which is a lot of fun, except they stink. They stink up your house. They smell like bug spray or something really like rancid. So I haven't done that again. I might get some silk ones, but not gonna force those inside again. So those are some narcissus. I'll write it down here at the bottom if I'm wrong, but paper whites, however you want to say it. Got started on that and hope to finish that up pretty quickly. It's not a long or difficult stitch. There's more coverage on that quilt than you might expect, and probably on that house, but it's lots of fun. So I got that done. I met almost my November goal, or my October goals for my Birds of a Feather Blackbird Design piece. So meeting October goals in November, but still moving forward, so that's okay. And here's where I am with the Birds of a Feather. And I finally connected on my border at the top. I've started doing some doodads along the top, and I'm trying to do it methodically up and down the side, because there's things that you can miss. I've already switched the colors on a couple things. I've switched the order. That red one, that red doodad was supposed to be flip-flopped with the one below it, but I don't really think anybody cares. So I just kept moving forward. And I'm working on those flowers. I love that one there, and I'm really gonna love the red one. The top one up here is the one that has the chain stitch all around it. And I hope to get to that yesterday, but I have just had a bad cold, and my daughter's got the flu. She's back to school finally after a week of being sick. So everything got kind of thrown off. But I love it, and I hope to finish it by the end of the year. That is my goal. If I have to be up all night on New Year's Eve or however long, I'm gonna really push to finish this. So, or as close as I can. So I can pass that on and call that stitch along finished. I'll still be checking in on people's progress, and if you want to stitch it and have it, that SAL is open-ended. There's not a finish date on it, so feel free to jump in at any time. The other thing I worked on, I may have worked on Hawthorne Hollow just a little bit, but not enough to really show, was my All Creatures Great and Small. And I just realized I forgot the chart, but I think a lot of you have seen that by Barbara Anna. I don't think I'd finished the bull last time, and I haven't pulled this out in a couple weeks, so I'm even forgetting where I was. But I finished a lot of the flowers at the bottom and the bowl. That's pretty much the page. Still working on leaves. But this is one of my favorite things I've ever stitched. I just really like it. So anxious to get back to that, but it's actually going to be on a break for a little bit while I work on Sarah Woodham. So I will talk just a little bit about plans. For December, I want to finish the Birds of a Feather, really put a focus in on that. And I also want to make a Nativity Berry by Erica Michaels. These are pretty quick stitches, just a couple of days. So I hope to make this as a gift. And we will see how that goes. But I have the fabric. I'm actually going to try to make it on Aida this time instead of linen, and see how it turns out. And I told you I was going to look for fabric to make accompanying berries. And at the Goodwill, the only thing I can find, and I don't know how this is going to turn out, was this old Mankey tie. I think I can cut off the dirty parts, but it's kind of a silky blue, and I'm going to dye the fabric to kind of match. So I'll have the Nativity Berry and some of these blue. It's not silk, it's from Sears. It's probably polyester acetate. It's 100% acetate. So nothing fancy, but I'm going to cut this tie up, make it into a couple of strawberries, and then have a pretty display in a silver bowl. So Nativity Berry is next in line. I also wanted to talk a little bit about my plan for Flossmas. I'm kind of going to follow Lizzie Kate's Christmas rules, because they are rules. And her rule, let's see, which number is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7 says, keep the schedule light. I really needed to listen to this Christmas rule because my plans are always so grand and then reality sets in. I started a job and I knew about it last month. I don't remember if I explained what it was, but it's not hard mentally. It is hard physically. I've started working for Amazon seasonally as a package sorter of all things. I worked in the mailroom when I was in college and I always loved mail. I love packages. So I thought it would be fun, and it is. It's actually kind of fun. You can visualize I Love Lucy and the chocolate factory when all the chocolates are coming faster and faster and faster, and it is totally like that with the packages. They were going all over the floor one day. We just could not keep up. It was like toothpaste coming out of the tube, like, put it back, put it back. It was too late. But I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm getting a lot of exercise. I'm actually being paid rather well to work out for 4 hours a day. So physically, my body is just not able to keep up as well. And I'll insert a picture of how many steps. I took on one work day, basically over a 10K. I worked 10 one day. So physically, I'm not going to be able to do Flossmas this year, but I will do some bonus videos here and there. I did want to document as much for y'all as for my family, some of our traditions with German foods and treats for the neighbors, things that we like to do each year. I just wanted to film those as something fun. I also wanted to film somewhat of a tutorial. I don't have a lot of skill with camera angles and filming, but I did want to show how I make the berries out of the necktie and how I finish the top of the berry, because I usually don't do it the way that the designer tells us to. I just kind of fudge it and make it up my own. So I wanted to show that to y'all, and if I get a chance to talk to some of my stitchy friends, I did want to interview them. That might have to be tabled for next year, but if I get a chance to go to the Stitch Niche or to Fancy Stitches in Cleburne, I will film that. But my work day is like 2 to 6. It's kind of right in the middle of the day, and a lot of the needlework stores are almost an hour away and don't open until noon on some days. So I just logistically may not be able to figure that out, but I'll see what happens. I'm going to try to keep the schedule light and not feel pressure or stress about it, and hope to film here and there throughout the month of December. So I'll be back later this afternoon to show you the final finish of my Christmas rules and of my Christmas elf. And until then, I will talk to you later. Hello, I'm back again, and it is the next day. As I feared, things got really busy last night, and I actually had a party to go to that I'd forgotten about. So I had a really good time with my daughter. We went to a friend's house and exchanged socks. Filled with treats, so it was a lot of fun. But I was also able to finish my Christmas rules and my Barbara Anna elf. So if you saw those on Instagram, you got a sneak peek, but I will show them in just a minute. I also wanted to show the box that I forgot from Teresa. This was a craft that we made in class with some batting and some French General fabric, and then we waxed the book and kind of made the edges look like pages, and then our piece was supposed to sit in here. So I'll probably put just another piece of paper. I actually got another scrapbook paper to put in there with some glue, and then this will sit by the piece that we worked on in class. And so there was that. And the other thing I forgot, that was one of my favorite things. The reason I forgot it was because I was using it. My friend Judy just set down a Bitsy Bob in front of Marlene and I. Didn't even really say much, just set it down. And I had never really considered even purchasing these. They're a little bit costly, but I think they're really worth it, to be honest, because I am forever losing threads and needles, and this little piece in the middle here is felt, and it has a magnet here for needles. There's actually a needle on there. So this is just such a clever little contraption or invention. I think my grandma had something similar to this that she put on her armrest of her chair, but it didn't have the magnet. So this was a really nice gift from Judy, very generous share. So I'll link this down below. It's the That's So Kelly shop on Etsy, and these I highly recommend. I didn't know I needed it until I had it. Now I don't want to go without it. So that was lots of fun. And then a few other bits of business for the giveaway last month. I did not hear from, oh shoot, now I put her name up. I'm sorry, it's in my notebook here from last month. Let me pause and I'll get right back to you. Okay, I'm back. I did not hear from Linda Savage on the giveaway for the Elizabeth Page 1804 sampler. It's a scarlet letter sampler and it's completely sealed and unopened. So I had intended to give this away. I intend to give it away. But if I don't hear from Linda Savage by, let me say, today is the 3rd, December 10th, give her another week. If I don't hear from Linda by December 10th, so if you know her, message her or pass it along if she hasn't seen this video. And then otherwise, I will redraw. I probably won't show it on film, but I'll redraw on the 10th and just contact the new winner. So Linda Savage, I'm gonna give you one more week. I hate for you to miss out on this chart, so I hope that you comment. I'll comment again on your comment. And this month's giveaway winner, I did have 8 people that wanted to have one of these cute little bowl fillers to put with your stitching. They look really cute in a little tray. I have a bunch of them. I randomly generated a number between 1 and 8 for Krista Grammer. I don't know if that's Grammar or Grammar. There's only one M. So Krista G, I'll comment on your comment. Oops, sorry, I keep bumping the table. And you can have this little gingerbread man sent out in the mail. I did not get to do my Bell Snickle Santa this month. I bought some wool on Etsy and it came and it's curly and my cats were freaked out. I think they would attack whatever I made with that wool. So I'm kind of rethinking, maybe I can make it a little smaller and put it over a dome or something, but I'm not sure I'll be able to use that wool. So this may be my only Christmas craft so far. So I got interrupted, not sure where I was. But I wanted to show the pieces that I finished yesterday. They're going to be a little bit difficult, and my kids didn't want to help me last night. They were wanting to do other things, so it's just me. But here is my Barbara Anna elf, and she's pretty small. I actually did the fabric a little bit larger this time because I wanted it to show a little better. It has candy canes, which I thought were really cute. So the fabric was just from Walmart. It was like $1.50. And then this bow is just a bunch of ribbon that I had lying around. Some of it doesn't quite match, but it has the black, so I wanted to add that. And the ceiling tile, I haven't seen people finish on these before, but I love ceiling tiles. This was a piece that came from the Goodwill. It used to be purple. Somebody painted it bright, bright purple. So I sprayed it black and then chalk painted it white and distressed it just a little bit. But I'm pretty sure it's an actual antique tile. I really like it. I have another big one in the front room that's in a lot worse shape. It must have been set out in the elements, but this one's in perfect condition. And these are just magneted on. These magnets here from Daiso are super strong, so it only needed one. And because the tile is metal, it doesn't need one on the back. And same with the bow. That was just something my kids had. I don't know what that was. But it's a really strong magnet too. And then I put a bell in the middle so it jingles. But super happy with that one. And then this piece of wood behind me, you can kind of see it, came from my mom bought a metal gate that had this backing behind it, and she didn't want the backing. She wanted to be able to see through the metal wood, or through the metal like grates. And so she took this off. It almost looks like a picket fence, and she gave it to me. And it was much larger than this. It's actually in like, I think 7 panels. This is just 3 pieces here. But yesterday, when I was getting ready to finish this, I just took a saw and I hacked it. I just cut it apart so that it had the right amount of spaces. Let me see if you can see. Oops, this is really tall. That wasn't the side I sawed. Oh, I just had to saw the top. I guess it wasn't connected at the bottom. But I just sawed that apart, and then I went ahead and glued this on. I'll probably pop it off if I end up doing another piece on here, but I don't think I will. I think it'll just be Christmas. And this bow was an ornament from Walmart this year. One of the rusted, it doesn't have a clinker in it. One of the rusted bells with buffalo check, which doesn't quite match my French general fabric. That's hard to say. But I still thought it worked. And that bow was on a package from Teresa at the Shakespeare's Peddler, so I just used it again. And some of my black and white check. It's ivory. This was a, oh, I forgot to say, the Barbara Anna elf is on 14 count Aida. It was a bright Kelly green, and I tried to darken it as much as I can. It was from a kit that my sister-in-law had. I think it had like fish on it or something weird, but I just used that green Aida because I thought it would show up. And then this is Hobby Lobby 28 count even weave, and it was a yard. So I think I got it with my coupon for like $12. And it's a little bit loose. It's different than Monaco. It's much drapier than Monaco, but I can pretty much stitch on anything. So I would do it again. I would do Halloween rules with it since it's so affordable, especially. And I did tea and coffee diet before I really kind of knew what I liked. I think I would do it darker now because you can see like the candle and the milk. It would have shown up in the skate. It would have shown up better on a darker fabric, but this was like my second or third start, so it is what it is, but I like it and I'm really happy with it. So, and there's that final, almost gonna knock into stuff. There's that final block again that I added. Remember, Jesus is the reason. So really happy with that, and we'll put some more pictures of that in at the end. So I hope that you have a great holiday season, that you try to keep the schedule light. Don't stress out about your cross stitch finishes. Use that as time to relax and not worry. So, and I'm speaking to myself. But again, as I usually finish these videos, it says in Psalm 90 verse 17, may the favor of the Lord be upon us and establish the work of our hands. And I wish that for you. Have a fantastic December.